Tell. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And
Yes.
in case you have forgotten, we are here to remind you, Mark.
You are absolutely fucking amazing, exactly as you are.
Yes, you are.
No need to change. You don't need to be anybody different than who you are right now. Boom.
Boom is right. And Mark
Own it.
wrote a book about it. Mark wrote a book about how to be absolutely fucking amazing. Because, Mark, just share with our viewers really quick, just the 1 minute elevator speech about what
Oh.
happened and why you wrote the book.
So it's a great story. So, but I've had a lot of success in my life. I founded a company in '87, and we made the Inc. 500 list twice, which is the list of the fastest growing companies in the United States. We had great success. It's still operating today, right? Only I'm not
Mhm.
involved in it because I transformed out of that into something new, which is this, right? So the story is in 2011. I was at this moment in time. I had been divorced. My young son had been moved out of state, so I wasn't seeing him. My girlfriend of 3 years, my fiance of 3 years, came and told me, "Hey, listen, I found somebody else here on the street." So that happened, and then this business that I had founded and was running, was not doing well at the time because
Mhm.
let me tell you, over the course of time, businesses do well, they don't do well, they do well. It's just not a linear, hey, we're going to do great. Um, so I was at this moment in time and I had had a few drinks and I found myself standing in front of my mirror in my bedroom. Now, listen, if somebody looked at my life from the outside, they would say that it was spectacular. There was a wonderful life. But I had lifelong depression and mood disorder since a young child. I remember feeling this way. And so I worked. I had done deep work to try to figure this out and been treated, and it just nothing worked. So I found myself at the mirror with a gun to my head, and I had to make a choice. I was going to pull the trigger and be done with it because the pain was so intense at that moment. All I could think of was I was such a failure and I would be so much better off for everybody else. Listen, that's a key I want to say. If people say suicide's a very selfish thing, it's exactly the opposite of that, because the mindset of the person at that particular moment is, I don't want to be a burden on anybody else anymore.
Mhm. Yep. Oh,
Seriously. And I just
I
so
can,
the only
and
thing
I'll
that
just,
stopped me,
yeah. And Mark, that's really
yeah,
important too, because
yeah,
I too, really quickly, I did have suicidal ideation when I was at my sickest. Because why?
the
I couldn't
pain,
work. I couldn't take care of my kids. I was in
right,
physical, mental, emotional pain. And
right,
basically, it was Groundhog Day, the same
mhm,
feelings over and over, nothing's
mhm,
changing. And,
yeah,
and you get into that space of,
yeah,
I can't do it anymore. Right.
right,
I don't want to be a burden on anyone else. I'm not showing up in the world the way I think I should. Right. That's
right.
that's what
And
goes through in my head.
we get so tied to this persona, this ideal that we need to be this thing for the world, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, so
So, anyways,
I
Mark, what
was
happened
there,
next?
and the only thing, I decided I didn't want my children to find me that way because they'd be the ones who would be looking for me, right? So I was like, I can't do that to them. So, I went in for a 5-day stay. And let me tell you something about the current situation with the mental health system. They do the best they can. The
Okay.
medications don't work well. Therapy, can work. Um, but think about it. They're going to take somebody who's feeling really the worst about themselves ever, and they basically arrest them, take away their shoelaces and everything and all their freedoms and lock them down. And you know,
It's
it's
old
the best we
fashioned.
can do. It's the best we can do right now, but there's better,
Yeah,
right?
there's
So what
better.
happened is an outcome of that. I had to actually get into action and apply all of that inner self work, all of those tools that I'd been taught over the course of time, because again, medication did not work for me. So I had to take those tools and I had to put together and create a life that I love. I mean, my life today and since that time has been absolutely amazing. Like if I tell you all of the adventures I've had and all of the things that I've done, you'd be like, holy shit, how can one person do that many things? But
I
it's
know why, because you're living your best life.
yes, exactly, Sherry. That's why I'm here with you. You're the perfect partner for me. So it's like, of course you show up. Of course we're together. It's the same thing with my wife and the other business and the other things. All of my relationships, because I'm in it to win it. And I had to cobble together all of those things.
Mark, that is the new hashtag. I'm
in it to win it.
And what are we truly trying to win? We are trying to win the love of ourselves, to show up in the most loving and powerful way. So
we're trying to step out of the being of human being, because we are all absolutely fucking amazing at our core. But what we take on are all of the ways of being that everybody else tells us is the way that we should be. Whether it's our grandparents or parents or people around us or friends or where, you know what I mean? We take that on.
We do.
We take on it's not who we are.
No, we take on the perceptions of other people, right? That belongs to them. Their perception belongs to them, you know.
But that's what we get immersed in, and that's who we become. So if at my core, here's the tip, here's the beauty. If at my core, I'm absolutely amazing. And what's happening right now in my life is just a way of being. I can change a way of being. I can't change who I am at my core, which is love in spirit and, you know, just all good things. I can't change that, and I wouldn't want to. But what I can change is how am I being right now? And that's what the book's about. Gives you tips and tricks about how to change how you are being today and be something that you choose to be.
I love it, Mark. So this is what I really love. You have a choice every day. The core of who you are is pure love, right? But we have circumstances. I call it, we have the hurricane around us that we can't control. We can't control the storm.
You know what they say, Sherry? Over life, we just put on a different pair of glasses.
There you go, the love goggles.
And then we put on another pair of glasses.
Oh.
And then we put on another pair of glasses. And then we put on another pair of glasses. And then all of a sudden, this is what the world looks like. Holy cow. How are we ever going to see clearly what life is about? Because that's what we do. We take on all of these different lenses and viewpoints from other people. So today,
I love it, Mark.
Take them off and everything's available.
There we go. I'll tell you, 2020 gave me 2020 vision, right? That was probably the most important year for me to process, processing emotions.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's why this moment, like 2021, is hugely important for the world, because 2020 gave everybody in the world an opportunity to pull back the curtain, see that the way that they were being earlier was not really the way that they wanted to be. So for you, for me, it was a moment of transformation where we said, I have an opportunity to be something other than what I am today.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. And we do. Joseph, you're right. We do have our insecurities. Carrie Lee, you're right. We don't want to be a burden to our loved ones. We can choose a new way of being right now. And that's where we are, Carrie.
Here's the I know we're going off tangent, but it's really important. So everyone says, how can you be insecure? I am insecure. But
oh my God. We all are.
It's so human, and it's okay. Here it is I embrace it, and I look at, embrace it, and then I work with it. And part of how I work with my insecurities is to make fun of them. Right? If you can laugh at yourself.
Yeah. I mean, in the business world, you're always supposed to have that persona, like you're in control, you're in charge. And you know what? That is gone. That is gone. The way I operate in the business world today is the same way I operate here. I'm brutally honest about how I feel about it. If I'm scared, I say I'm scared. Now, so there was a book, Maxwell. Oh, I can't remember his name. It's called, I can't remember the name of the book. My God, I'm having a brain fart. But anyway, it was about communication. It was about nonviolent communication. I think that was the name of the word, right? And so he would give examples about being in the room trying to facilitate meetings, like between the South African government and the Black community, and trying to have conversations about when apartheid ended, how to get the groups together, right? So very difficult communication. His tip is start off by being honest. So when he would sit in the room, he would say, I just want to tell you that I'm feeling very nervous that I'm not going to be up to the task of the meeting today. That you won't view me as being someone who's here to help.
Right.
And so starting off from that place of brutal honesty, he was being something different than what we normally are in the situation. So you can be love in every situation.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't that awesome? We just totally started our day off the AFA way. So here we go. Mark, let's talk about the daily love really quickly.
Okay, daily love, real quick. We're on day 4 of the 7-day mental diet. So we're pulling from Emmett Fox's pamphlet that he produced in 1935. We talked about it all week this week. Remember, this is the one that Tony Robbins said changed his life, and his life is pretty damn good. Tony's done well. And it's what his message is, and that is that what you think is what you get. It will manifest in your life in every area. So today,
I can vouch for that.
God, I can too. Oh my God, so true. So here we are. Today's message is it's the great cosmic law. It's true. You can't deny, if you really look at it objectively, that how you think completely gives you what you get in life. I mean, we see it in nursing all the time, right?
Yes, we do.
All the time we see in nursing, we see one patient who has an affliction, another patient that has the same one. This one has a great positive disposition, heals much faster. This one has a very negative disposition, stays in that area, doesn't move from that affliction. So we see it all the time.
We do. And so, I mean, really quickly too, is in what we're trying to do with that, even as health practitioners, we focus on symptoms, we focus on body parts. Rarely do we ever get to mental, emotional care. And do we ever touch a patient's spirit? So that's what we're doing as nurses is we're trying to help people look at situations from a different viewpoint, from a place of love instead of a place of fear.
Now we're trained. We are really trained to do that in nursing school. We're given some information about it, but not a lot. But when we get into the job is simply about analyzing, slinging meds, deciding if it worked. We don't ever get to that spirit part. But you say it all the time. You know, what's the essence of
the essence of nursing is human caring.
Right.
How can I care for this human being?
Right.
Regardless of what I think or feel.
And cannabis nursing is about addressing the spirit of the person too.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. Good stuff. Wow. Yes. What an awesome way to start off Wacky Wednesday.
Here we go, baby. Wednesday, March 3rd. You know, let's be clear. This is the only March 3rd, 2021 we're ever going to get. What are you going to do today? You choose.
You're going to make it the best day ever. Yes. Embrace my humanity and shift the perception, right?
Why not? What do you get to lose?
I got nothing to lose. So Wellness Wednesday. So we're going to dive in because we've had issues with sleep. A lot of people have issues with sleep. The health awareness at this month is actually this week. National Sleep Awareness Week is March 1st to 7th.
Yes.
World Sleep Day, where we all need to take a nap, is on March 13th.
I have it marked off on my calendar. Like I'm telling you, you know what? I've had sleep issues for so long. I can tell you the last awesome nap that I had back in 1997. And I think I know right where I was. I was in Maine on a fishing trip with a buddy, and it was a cool 50-degree day with a little bit of rain. You know, it's Maine and it's in the springtime. And we got up early and went fishing and came back. I said, hey, I'm going to take a nap. He's like, yeah, that's a good idea. It was like 10 a.m. in the morning. We both woke up at like 6 p.m. and it was the most awesome sleep I've had. And isn't that sad? I remember the last really good sleep I've had. Since then, It's a
All right.
challenge, isn't it?
And this is part of the reason why I'm bringing up
Mhm,
all these tips and tricks, because I used to teach at a women's gym, 3 women's gyms, about
mhm,
how to maintain body weight, how to transform. And it's like you
mhm.
said, it's not just about eating, but it's about exercising, mind, body,
Right,
spirit.
right.
Sleep is huge when it comes to restorative sleep.
So important.
So
Im
now we're going to tap into cannabis and
Yeah,
sleep. And Mark's
yeah.
going to start off with sleep apnea
Woo! You know, it just so
in
happens
a
I
study.
pulled my CPAP machine out last night because I said,
No
"Maybe I
way.
should pop this on and see if it's gonna make a little bit of a difference." Well, we'll find out. Yeah, I know. It's like wearing a vacuum cleaner. I mean, there's gotta be a better way, but, they haven't figured it out. That's that's what we got, so we're gonna give it a shot. But
Gonna
you
give
know
it
what? I'll tell you what, I had the other night, night before last, I had a great Delta 8 gummy before bed,
mhm,
and I slept magnificently,
mhm.
right? Because
Yeah,
another
Delta
cannabinoid,
8
it's the unknown cannabinoid, right?
and Delta 8 we are completely focusing on Friday. So Delta
Awesome.
8.
Okay, so we'll
Mhm.
get to that one. So
Yep.
today, sleep apnea, cannabis and sleep apnea. Let's go. So there are 2 double-blind studies, 1 human clinical trial, which means there's some data, some good, rigorous scientific data. In the clinical studies, we're dosing with synthetic cannabinoids and CBD isolate, which for me means they're not as rigorous and scientific because we know from other evidence that those isolates are not as effective as a whole plant product, which we talked about yesterday on Terpene Tuesday.
Mhm.
All of it needs to be there, but here we go. They did 2.5 and 10 milligrams a day. Patients reported self improvement, so improvement in quality of sleep for obstructive sleep apnea. CBD, 300 milligrams, did not say really if it was isolate, but we're assuming that it is because almost all of the studies are about this particular cannabinoid. So there
Yep.
were no acute effects of CBD on the sleep-wake cycle of healthy subjects, and it was a randomized double-blind, placebo-controlled crossover study, which again is more rigorous scientific evidence.
Right.
So dronabinol, which is a derivative synthetic cannabinoid, is safe and well tolerated in obstructive sleep apnea and significantly reduces the apnea hypopnea index, which is AHI in the short term, which
Right.
is just a measure of sleep apnea. So Sherry,
Right. Right. Okay. So that's awesome. Okay. So we're getting there. We're advancing. We're
we're
progressing.
moving.
However,
Yeah,
I didn't see any studies with the whole plant medicine. You know what I mean? So we didn't see any studies with whole plant cannabis,
right.
human beings, and sleep.
Do you know why they start with single isolates though, Sherry? I mean, if
Right.
you look at it objectively, it does make sense because they're trying to understand what particular part of the plant is effective.
Right. There you
But
go.
but in the end, we know that that entourage effect is real. And although
Mm,
we don't know specifically what part of the plant is working, altogether it does work.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
go. I look at it as a nice healthy salad.
Uh-huh.
Right? It's like,
Right.
I just don't want to eat romaine lettuce, right? I want everything on the salad. Same thing with my cannabis. So it's just a
Uh,
really good analogy. So animal studies.
yeah.
So they did animal studies, and there is a functional role for cannabinoids in respiratory stability during sleep. Really
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm.
So during animals, THC stabilize the respiratory pattern during the sleep stages in these test animals. And what
Right.
it did was it modulated serotonin
Mhm.
by augmenting the upper airway muscles, right? That has these effects on our vagus nerve.
Right.
And so that's really, really important when it comes to sleep and relaxation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So animal studies, it did show a functional role for cannabinoids. So
Sure. Yeah.
we're progressing. So
We
the
are.
other thing, Mark, is that, there were also mixed findings,
Mhm.
on this and
Yep.
mixed findings when it comes to looking at cannabinoids in general for sleep. And these
Right.
aren't randomized controlled studies. These are articles.
Cohort studies or case
Yeah.
studies, case
Mhm.
reviews. Yeah,
Yeah.
much less rigorous scientific evidence, but still something, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
So let's
excessive
talk about,
doses, right?
yeah,
Excessive doses of THC can cause anxiety.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So interesting with the mixed findings. Okay, THC, it just depends upon how you're using it. May reduce the time it takes to fall asleep.
Yeah,
How are you taking that? That's number
right.
one, right? Which way, which method? Do you understand the bioavailability? Do you
Mhm.
have the right type of products? So the other
Right,
thing we know too is excess doses of THC may actually cause anxiety, because you're not taking the right type.
right. Yeah,
And
yep.
then what about chronic use?
Well, chronic use, they found that it may impair long-term sleep patterns of the quality. So THC does initiate sleep very well. So, you take a puff and you'll
Yep.
you'll
You
you'll
get
be out,
drowsy,
right?
right?
You'll be able to fall asleep much, much better. So if that's your issue, it's good. But in the long term, it does decrease that deepest sleep that we get. But, for people who are a little older, I don't think it matters much because we lose that deep sleep anyway over the course
Anyways,
of time as we age. So,
right,
many times it's not going to be an issue, but
right.
it does affect it, right?
Yeah. So the
Mhm.
other thing too, and this is, and these are mixed findings. Okay. This
Yep.
is not,
Yep.
these are mixed findings, not to say that it's right or wrong. Like we have
Right.
all these different people that
Mhm.
are coming forward and they're looking at different evidence. So CBD, which I have experienced,
Mhm.
reduces daytime drowsiness. Again, they don't know whether it's isolate or whole plant when we're looking at these studies, but in my experience, when I wake up and I'm a little drowsy from, the night before, having a good night's sleep, is
Yeah.
CBD does help me to perk up a little bit,
Mhm.
which I think is great. So to date, there have not been trials done on the different effects of the prime cannabis chemotype. So this was
Right.
really interesting.
Right.
So
Yes.
it
We
was
break
not
them up into 3 types, right, Sherry?
Yeah. So Cannakeys is starting to break it down a little bit
Mhm.
more, but we're looking at cannabinoids, we're looking at terpenes, but
Right.
we've come up with something that I think is really important, and it's going to help all people
Mhm.
across the platform to look at things a different way. So type
Yeah.
1 chemotype is
Mhm.
high THC, low CBD products.
Right. Yep.
Cannabis chemotype 2 is equal amounts of THC and CBD.
Mhm.
And then chemotype 3 is high CBD, low THC, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So when we're looking at patients, when
Mhm.
patients come to us, I can't sleep. There's a lot of things we need to look at. It's not just as simple as take an edible and go to bed,
Right.
right? We
Right.
need to look at other diseases, symptoms, pharmaceuticals, supplements, food
Right.
choices. All of these things can contribute to sleep issues. The other thing we need to look at too as clinicians is what part of the sleep is most difficult, because
Sure.
that's going to also help you to choose your products. For example,
Absolutely.
do you have difficulty falling asleep? Do you have
Mhm.
difficulty staying asleep? Meaning, do you frequently wake up? Or when you wake up, do you have difficulty falling back to sleep?
Right.
And then the
Mhm.
final thing, and then we're going to go through some tips and tricks.
Yep.
What are your other sleep hygiene practices?
Right.
Mark and I talk about this all the time. Cannabis is
Mhm.
not the end all be all, and we must incorporate other tools that actually make the cannabis work better.
Right.
And that's my experience. So
But it Mhm.
two things happen to me when I use cannabis. And if
Mhm.
I don't get the right combination, especially with THC,
Mhm.
THC either knocks me out,
Right.
or if I don't choose the right product, it's very stimulating. And I am up and I'm like, I want to go to
Yeah.
sleep. I want to go to sleep. I want to
Right.
go to sleep.
Right.
And I just find something else to do in hopes that I'm going to get to sleep.
Mhm.
So important sleep hygiene, tips and tricks, hugs and
Yeah.
nugs to go with your cannabis.
Here we go.
All
So,
right.
the concept of stacking your cannabinoids really depends on what part of the sleep's being affected. So you look at the cannabinoid profile and the terpenes, there are some sedating terpenes like myrcene and linalool. Um, you know, you may want to take a capsule or an edible an hour or two before going to bed, Sherry. And, we talked about this. It's because an edible form, when you ingest it, is going to last much longer over the course of time. So it could be up to 6 hours of a duration of effect. So
Yeah.
that's really good for helping
Mhm.
someone who may wake up in the middle of the night and
Yeah.
have trouble going back to sleep, right? It may help to alleviate that particular symptom. but
Yeah.
it's not going to necessarily help you with falling asleep as quickly, right? So
Yes.
that's where you come in with either a tincture, which you take an hour or so before bed, and that you absorb a little under your tongue. So it's a sort of an immediate effect. And you still swallow some, so you have that longer term effect. But the number one method of administration, if you're having initiation problems, falling asleep, is inhalation
Mhm.
because it's immediate and
Immediate.
you'll have that effect. You take it 10 to 15 minutes before bed and you're going to go to sleep.
You're going to go to sleep. And so it's really
Yeah.
important just to think about, ask yourself those critical questions. What type of products do you have, and everything else that goes along with sleep? And
Right.
to experiment gently with yourselves. Don't be,
Yes.
taking it all at the same time, right? We want to really, really think about it. The other thing too, that's really important that we talk about as nurses is
Mhm.
other supplements, other things that exist that can pair really well with cannabinoids.
Yeah.
And I've been able to decrease my amount of cannabinoids by combining other supplements. So we're going to discuss a couple of those. We're just going to go through the list, not going to get
Right.
into detail.
There's a good point here though, Sherry, and that's one of the things that when we consult with people, that is really one of the benefits that we bring to the table is we can decrease the amount of money that you're spending on your cannabis medicine because let's face it, it's not covered by insurance and you got to pay out of pocket. It's a good thing to be able to decrease the amount that you have by using it safely and effectively,
Exactly.
strategically. And that's what we teach you how to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's personalized medicine. And
Yeah.
if you can, and everything that we do or don't do in our lives affects how cannabis works in our body. So really looking at our intake of different substances,
Yeah.
for sleep inducing supplements, right?
Mhm.
We'll
Yep.
go through a couple of them.
Yeah.
Melatonin,
Yeah.
valerian root,
Yes.
magnesium,
Mhm.
lavender,
Yeah.
passion flower,
Mhm.
glycine,
Yeah.
which is an amino acid,
Right.
tryptophan.
Remember the turkey at Thanksgiving. Take
That's
that nap
right.
on the couch in the afternoon. It's because of
Yeah.
tryptophan.
Yes. Isn't that so cool? I
It
mean,
is. It
it's
is.
so neat how the body works. Ginkgo
Mhm.
biloba
Yeah.
is another one. And this next one, Mark, I can't really pronounce. I'll let you pronounce it.
L-theanine. It's
There
an
you
amino
go.
acid that may help improve sleep and relaxation. And what's
Yeah.
the last one, Sherry?
The last one is kava kava. And
Mhm.
basically, there was just a little caution that you
Mhm.
need to buy supplements that have been certified by a reputable third party
Right.
organization. I would just say that across the board,
Yeah.
when you're purchasing supplements.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's a list of some, pretty cool
Yeah.
things that you could actually consider and start working with.
Yeah.
And, always start by asking your health professional. What we say here is not
Right.
meant to,
Mhm.
diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent. This is for educational purposes.
Right.
So tips and tricks
Yep.
at bedtime. We're going to go
Yeah.
through that list
Yeah.
because this is huge. And it's going to help you just think about what you do before you go to bed.
Mhm.
Number one,
Yeah.
making your sleeping environment your sanctuary, right?
It's
Your
sacred.
space.
It's
It's
sacred.
sacred. Yes.
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 Yeah, reserve the bedroom for bedtime and other bedtime activities. It'll help your body, your mind associate the bedroom with relaxation and release.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And then we have pre-sleep relaxation activities. So they can induce gentle stretching,
Yeah.
reading, meditation, listening to music,
Mhm.
which can also enhance the quality of your sleep.
Right. Routines or evening rituals that help associate your mind and your body with the anticipation of sleeping.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Here's a big one.
Yeah.
Saying goodnight to all of our electronics 1 hour prior to bedtime. Disconnect from the
Oh,
TV,
yeah.
computers, cell phones, and all electronic stimulus.
I
Can
for
I tell you,
years,
Mark?
for years, I used to have a TV in the bedroom and I would watch TV until I fell asleep most of the time with the TV on. I'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and turn it off, right? And eventually I got to the point where my sleep was not, it just wasn't restorative. And I got rid of the TV in the bedroom. Like
Makes
it left.
a difference.
It's
And I
hard.
don't know, it is. I don't know about you, but for me, and I'm just because I'm sensitive to energy,
Yeah.
when the TV's on, there's different frequencies that get emitted, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, it feels like nails on a chalkboard. When
Yeah.
TV's on, that's how it affects me. I'm not a big
Yeah.
TV girl.
Yeah.
I like music. So the next one is, this is really cool because how many of us go to bed and we lay there and all of a sudden your mind starts to chatter, right? So the monkey mind chatter brings about the anxiety, triggering stress and cortisol. So like, what do I have to do? Oh my God, what did I forget? So all of these lists of things start to circulate in your head.
Right.
So what I do is I just write it all down and I look at it and I go, oh, there you are. You're on paper. You're going to be there for me in the morning.
Don't have to hold on to it. Yeah. I don't have to think about it. I can look at it in the morning. Great tip. Yeah. Keep the room cooler at night. Absolutely. It's absolutely known that if your room is cold even, you're going to sleep better.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm all about being all warm and fuzzy, but you know what? I do like the room cold. It does feel better. All the covers.
One leg out, rest of me covered up. Heaven.
Yes. Okay. And now we're going to talk about what we're eating. Okay. Caffeine. So caffeine's effect lasts between 5 and 7 hours, depending upon your baseline metabolism. So if you're drinking caffeinated sodas, energy drinks, coffee, even caffeinated tea, you need to think that these are stimulants, right? And it's going to take a while for them to wear off, and it could be stimulating.
Right. Oh, and the next one, Sherry.
Oh.
Alcohol. Yeah. And a lot of people use this as a tool to go to sleep. But what they don't understand is that it is so disruptive to the sleep pattern. Like it's been studied and studied and studied. It's just awful for sleep. You're not going to get restorative sleep if you ingest alcohol before you go to bed.
No.
Yep.
And then it often, here we go. We have sugar levels, dehydration. So sometimes people wake up in the middle of the night and they're at the fridge with the munchies, drinking the soda. So
your body tells you what you need or what it thinks you need.
Yeah. And here's a big one, Mark. Motion is the lotion. And this is really important. Daytime exercise.
So important. That does have a positive impact on my sleep. When I exercise, I have a good round of exercise during the day. I do sleep better. Yeah. And it's been shown. It's right. Motion is the lotion.
It is. And then finally, one last thing, which I like, and this is what I do, even if I want to take a nap or just relax and meditate, is put a mindfold on, right? I used to work the night shift for so many years. Earplugs, mindfold, white noise in the background or ocean noise.
Yeah. We've got a lovely 18-year-old cat, beautiful black cat, awesome, just a lovely cat. But it's got to have Siamese in it, right? I can't be for sure, but it's part Siamese because it's got that howl like that. It's not a meow, it's and the cat's old and demented and it meows all night long. So I got to remember to put my earplugs in. Yeah.
Even the sound canceling, those big giant things are just
so
phenomenal.
good. Yeah. So those are some tips and tricks, folks.
Yes. Hugs and nugs. Cannabinoid therapeutics combined with these other hugs and nugs that are truly going to be promoting and help you. If you do have issues with insomnia, you can contact us. We're here to relieve suffering and improve quality of life, and we will truly
here to help.
Yeah. So here we go. So we're going to end with, we're plugging ourselves because we got a lot of great things going on. So today,
we want you to be there.
We want you to be there. So today from 4:20 to 6:20 p.m. in the Prohibition Talk Radio. Hey, Joe, are you out there?
Joseph.
Joseph.
The Prohibition Talk Radio.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. We're happy.
Where can we find that, Sherry?
Oh, www.com. Oh, www.facebook.com/in the weeds. No,
in the weeds. Look in the weeds.
Actually, we're going to put a tag in there. So it's prohibition. Oh my God, I'm totally flubbing it. www.facebook.com/in the weeds. No, it's not in the weeds. It's Prohibition Talk Radio. Oh my God. I got it wrong.
You consume cannabis. Take a little sip of coffee. Here we go. Joe, help us out. Where are we going to find In the Weeds Prohibition Talk Radio? On Facebook at
www.facebook.com/. Prohibition Talk Radio.
Okay, thank God we got there. All right, Sherry.
And then tonight,
Yeah. Okay.
and I'm not judging myself right now. I'm having a human
No.
moment, and I'm AFA. So
What
next
the hell?
one.
There's no perfection. What are we looking for? Perfection is so boring.
I know, right?
Perfect people are so boring to be around. There's no fun. There's no adventure.
There's no
God, I'm
drama.
gonna make so many mistakes today. I'm gonna have the best day ever.
Oh, God, it's so fun.
Oh yeah.
All right, so here we go. Wrap it up.
Yep.
420 to 620 in the Weeds
Yep.
Prohibition Talk Radio
Yep.
with a nurse and a
Mhm.
veteran, critical care nurse, and he's got a great story. Tonight at 8 p.m.,
Yep.
we're profiling Dr. Karen Korn, and she's doing some amazing things in Ohio and Michigan with a wonderful educational program called
Okay.
Leaf Medic. So truly getting the community involved and all the dispensaries involved.
Yes.
Tomorrow, we are on at 8 a.m.
Come on.
Our
back.
regular daily dose of AFA.
We're
Friday
talking
on
Thursday, Throwback Thursday, little history.
Throwback
about the
Thursday.
thing.
Yes, Throwback
Mhm.
Thursday. Friday, 8 a.m. And then at 9 a.m. on Friday, we are going to be talking about energy,
Love it.
reconnective healing, Reiki, and Healy. So you're going
Mhm.
to join the green nurses and the green nurse community, and we're going to give you lots of hugs and nugs on how we can help you.
Okay.
All
Remember,
right,
guys,
this is a long one today. This is a long
guys and
one.
girls, yeah, we listen. Sleep's that important. It's okay to go over. Listen, guys, seriously, this is the only Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021 you're gonna get. So make it the best one you're ever going to have. Absolutely. Remember, what you think is what you get. So it's time to change that thought process, Sherry. Absolutely. And I'm going to have an AFA day, and I hope you do too. Yes. Sherry, what's it all about?
It's about living your best life and helping others do the same. Have an AFA day and know that we love you all.
We love you all. All right. We'll see you all later on.